Kaito Sentai Lupinranger versus Kisaito Sentai Patranger. Number 1, the Troublemaking Phantom Thieves. You know I am the one and the only the trip with the G.O.D. I'd like to welcome you guys back live on Team GRF TV. And welcome back to another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. Look at this, y'all. We made it to Cowboys versus Indians. And I'm probably going to have to slowly stop calling it that, but I just enjoy calling it Cowboys versus Indians because I just think it's stupid and funny in between. But regardless, this is going to be a little different than other reviews I've done because, see, this is going to be a little bit all over the place because given how much of this episode I've absorbed, because here's a truth moment, I have watched this episode 3 times. I don't know why I watched it 3 full times, but I've watched this episode 3 full times. And given that information of watching it repeatedly and seeing what's going on and catching what's going on and just trying to really figure out like what this show is, here's something. I still don't know. We one episode in, so of course I'm not gonna have all the answers, but I think I've watched it enough to try to figure out like what my questions are, what it is that I can suss from this and try to figure this out, right? Like, the one question that I had the 3 times I watched it, and the reason why I watched it multiple times, was could either one of these teams separately carry a whole Sentai? That's the question that I have. Is that in an instance of one or the other, could Lupinranger, could Patranger, could they carry a Sentai by themselves? And the answer is, I'm not really sure. I'm like, we really didn't get a lot for the Patrangers this episode, simply because this was a Lupinranger featured and focused episode. So we really didn't get a lot from the other side. It's like, we got enough from each of the characters to like really like figure out like who they are and like where they fall into. You got Kyrie, you know what I'm saying? Lupinranger. I'm like, yo, he the leader, and I don't really know, are there really leaders this season? I'm not really sure, but he is your Red Ranger. And like he just the swag one. He's swag, right? Like everything he do is just swag nasty. So just expect me to just say random things that Kyrie does are just swag nasty and just let it be what it is. Given what happened in this episode, is that if this was a series that was just about Lupinranger, he's going to be one hell of a red. But given that you clashing with another one, and we'll get to Kishiro in a second, is what happened near the end of the first episode when he decided like, yo, the homeboy's trapped. What am I gonna do? Sit up here, dump, and let all this stuff fall on him? And it's like, the thing is that he real straightforward. He real straight true with it, because he sat up here and said, yo, the promise was, yo, if one of us fall, we gonna make sure that we get the job done. And honestly, within that is that, from my understanding of what the plot is, there's a lot more going on with the Lupinranger side of things when it comes to the more direct history and their interaction with the Gonglers and stuff. And the show is going to give us that slowly but surely. And I got a couple of more questions on that. But Tuma, I'm like, yo, he is the brains, right? He the brains. He the one that's the balance. You know what I'm saying? He remind me of Ryuji in Go Busters. Like, because you had Chicken Man and you had Cute Bunny Girl, and then in between you had the Gorilla, and he was the balance between the two. And Tuma is the same thing for the Lupinrangers right now. At least in this first episode, as I see, he the level-headed one. It's like, yo, his swag is a little different because his is a lot more cool and calm and collected. He probably gonna be the one that I end up being my first, because I just like his swag though. Of course, you got the cutie on this side of the equation, Yumika, and it's like she a little flighty. We learned that early episode when Kyrie came back to their spot where they baking goods and stuff, because that's they cover, is that they bake goods and then they do their transformation downstairs, where they baking cakes, because we need a cover. So, but again, like I say, Yumika is the flighty one. But see, I don't think she's going to be defined by that moment as a character trait for her. So, I expect to see lots of growth from her because see, a girl like Cheery, something real up happened to her. So it's going to be interesting to see, like, whatever this was that ended up in this situation, that ended the three up in this situation, Yumika gonna have the darkest backstory. I can already tell. You can smell it, right? In this mix also, we got Kogure, who they sit up here and say is Lupin the Third's cousin or whatever, but the real, or say Lupin's descendant or whatever. I don't know if this was a translation thing when them boys at Overtime did it, but one of the lines early when Kyrie returned the piece of the Lupin collection that they stole back from the first month that they fight, and that fight was off the chain, and we'll talk about it in a moment, is the line kind of, the way that the line read was that even though Kogure is the front, is that there's somebody else in the back. Like, there's Arsène Lupin's real dude, or whoever he or she or it or they may be. Whoever that person is going to be a ranger, and they're going to be a major factor in whatever it is that goes on this side of the story. Right now, Kogure's sitting up here like, yo, I give orders, you give me the thing that you say you stole back, and then ultimately I'll give you what it is, I promise, whatever that thing is. So, you know, you got that popping off, right? On the other side of the equation, we got the Patrangers, and we got Keitro Oscar. He a hothead. You know what I'm saying? It's like he just mad about everything. All he want to do is shoot at things and catch criminals. So technically, he's Japanese Carter Grayson. So yeah, so expect him to dump at a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, millions killed by one Keitro Oscar. But the show is gonna see him calm down a little bit. See, right now he up there, but see, you can kind of tell by the way that they trying to play him that he gonna always be hot blooded, but he gonna calm down a little bit. And I saw that a lot in that interaction between him and Kyrie when they were in the park, and he's like, yo, nephew, you might want to shoot that, just threw it anyway and got mad. So you know what, I'm gonna say that point. I'm gonna say that point to after, you know, I do all this or whatever. You know, you got Sakia, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want to say she's the mom of this group, but she's the line keeper. She's you gonna see her later in gas just smacking the shit out of everybody, just smacking people. I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised this woman DDT somebody, right? It's like, you know what I'm saying, like, Sakia, for real, she is your line keeper. She gonna make sure that everybody else stay in line. It is what it is. There's another character who does that on this side of the field to a degree, but Sakia in the field is gonna be keeping these fools in line. So it is what it is. And you got Tsukasa. Tsukasa, you know what I'm saying? He's the level-headed one. You know what I'm saying? He's the level-headed one on this side of the group because he's the one that sit up here and say, like, does it legitimately really matter who does what? As long as somebody does something. And I'm like, you can see that either becoming a strength of his or becoming a downfall. So, you know, that thing I was going to say earlier, I'm going to say it now. When it comes to the interaction between these two teams and your ultimate think-through goal for them to come together to fight against the Gauntlet, to understand that the Lupin collection is what it is and why it is what it is, to do the thing you're going to do because you know what it is. A lot of what it is, right? So, this was done. A lot of what the show presents is done legitimately on purpose. Like, legitimately on purpose because of the nature and atmosphere and the motif of the show. Regardless, though, we still got a couple of more people to talk about. We got the Patranger's commander, Commander Hilltop. You know what I'm saying? He just sitting up here like, yo, I'm the commander. You know what I'm saying? No one is Doggy Kruger, and no one will hold that against you. No one is Lord Doggy Kruger. No one is Jiko no Banken. No one is Jiko no Banken, Holmes. So just sit there, be cool, and be the dude, but you're not finna become a ranger, so we don't have to worry about that from you. And we got Jim Carter. Like, Jim Carter is a robotic help homie. So, you know what I'm saying? So, it's like, he sit up here and he tell him, like, yo, go put work in. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, Jim Carter got what I like to call a non-foul mouth. Like, it's like, you can see the sarcasm oozing out this robot. Like, the sarcasm just oozing out of this robot. And I'm just like, I can get with whatever this is. Like, yo, I'm feeling Jim Carter. Like, Jim Carter gonna have some real comedic moments in this series, and it's gonna be fun to like watch them. Unless this show gets to a weird point where they start phasing out characters, but I really don't think that because you have 2 stories to tell and you only have 24 minutes to tell stories about 2 sides to a thing, we'll see. On the other side, because there are 3 sides to this story, we got the Gonglis. We got the bossman, the Granio. Yeah, boom. This dude walk in there. This dude like a pimp. No, this dude is a pimp. This dude is Iceberg Slim. If Iceberg Slim was a monster of the week in Power Rangers, it would be this guy. Right here. This dude walk in. It's like he walk in with the squadron. He chilling though. He got his boy Destra though. This dude sitting up here like, yo, this dude is like the right hand man. Like, if Mr. X had Shiva, the Granio has Destra, dog. And I'm like, this dude is going to be a monster. Like, this dude is going to be putting in some early work. And then he is going to majorly fucking job. Majorly job. So, don't worry about it. Don't worry about what Destra Maho does. He going to majorly job. So, we're just waiting for the point where the show sends him out to, you know, do the thing, which is called majorly job. Because, see, you may be saying, yo, Trip, for real, they going to send that dude out the job? Well, here's the thing. They putting him up way too soon. And I'm not talking about like that. It's that he too cocky. He too cocky. He walking around like the other part of the main Ganga group is Gauche du Meadow, and it's like she's sitting up here, she a cutie sitting up here, she's sitting up here getting her knees and kiss the ring. I'm like, okay, but you know, because I did a little reading of the wiki, she's the Nadia here, so she gonna be doing a lot of, you know, making Gonglets go really big for no reason, so that we summon Zord so that they can do something at about the 16-minute mark of an episode. So, I don't know what they gonna really do with her character-wise, but give the show some time. Give the show some time to really flush out these characters, but those are your sides, and I really want to take time to really discuss the major players right now. And because the first, like I said when Bill came out, the first of these couple episodes are going to be a lot more analysis based to try to sit up here and trying to suss out what's going on here. And because again, I watched the episode 3 times, back to back to back to back. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot in my brain running around. Here's something that before we get into talking about the swag of the episode that I appreciate. The show know what it's doing. The name of the changer is the VS changer. The Lupinrangers wear V on their sleeves. The Patrangers wear S's on their sleeves. And I'm like, versus. And I'm like, already. I'm like, this show sitting up here knowing what it's doing. Like, I like the Lupinranger suits. I like they transformation sequences off the chain. Like, we didn't get to see the full Patranger sequence, but the Lupinranger sequence off the chain. They sit up here like gunshots and wanted posters and like Lupin red, Lupin blue, Lupin yellow, and all that. Then they sit up here when they finish. It's like they sit up here on top of Big Ben and shit posing, and I'm like, yes, please. I'm like, yo, let's talk about it. That opening scene, you got Monster of the Day, Ribbit Man. That's what we calling him. We call him the frog suit that got loose from Mario Brothers 3, right? He's sitting up here disguised as this fat man with this drawn on mustache, and he's sitting up here making that Japanese dude lose all his money at the roulette table. Now, this will be the point where I would tell you a story about how much Dead or Alive Extreme 2 played, but I really don't want to talk about the thing that is Dead or Alive Extreme 2, which is a lesbian simulator where you give girls gifts and you try to cheat at the game because it's the only thing you can do short of buying all of the achievements, because that's a thing you can technically do, but it will cost you about $900. So, you do what you can. Anyway, after all this go down, dude lose the room, the squadron jump in. The Lupinrangers untransformed and sit up here and interacted this gun battle that I haven't. I'm like, yo, you know what that gun battle remind me of? That part in Forever Red where that boy Carson Gracie was just dumping. Just all slow motion, laser beams and shit. I'm just like, this is off the chain. I'm just like, I just love that Kyrie just up there just talking smack. Just like, yo, he a smack talker cause he got bravado, though. The dude got swag. He's sitting up here like, yo, we finna take that, run it, and then dump it in shoes. Matrix, I'm like, I don't remember the last time I've seen the Matrix used this much. Like, yo, I was having flashbacks to Max Payne. That's how much Matrix juice was used in that opening fight sequence that I had throwbacks to the original Max Payne. Max Payne. Oh no, Max Payne. I don't give you the drugs, Max Payne. No, you need the Valkyrie to beat the final boss, Max Payne. It's blue, the blue drink, Max Payne. I'm like, one of these days, I'm going to have to sit down with Jay and we're going to have to talk about the Max Payne movie because we went to go watch that like the weekend it came out and then we had Denny's afterwards. So I'm just thinking that was a story, and you know what I'm saying? Shout out to The Wire right now. Shout out to The Wire because The Wire was all up in Max Payne. All up in Max Payne. Not talking in his back. He was like, man, Max Payne. I am the boss, Max Payne. I am the boss. I am the final boss of The Wire, Max Payne. You want the beef, Max Payne? You don't want the beef, Max Payne. Just drink the drugs, Max Payne. You know, it is what it is. I'm like, at this juncture, and I'm going to say this, because you know what? Because I'm taking a break because, like, my head is, like, in a whirl right now. My head is in a whirl, like, for real. Like, straight up. Because it's like, again, I watched an episode 3 times. I don't normally watch an episode like that 3 times in a row. But the thing is that you do what it is it does because this is new to me. And that's the point that I really, for real, want to get across. That I'm sitting up here still, even through all of this, I am trying to absorb what this show is trying to give me. And even after watching it 3 times, I still don't know. And that's not a way that you want to be in any way because of. And here's what I mean. I'm like, this show could get real confusing really, really, really fast. Really fast. Because we have to keep up with 2 different Sentai scenes. 2 different Sentai teams. So it's like the question like I had at the beginning is now introduced with another question. Because that question, we've been in this for a while now, if you forgot, is could one of these teams separately carry a show? The Lupinrangers, maybe. If you went to like some really deep throwback stuff, you might be able to. The Patrangers, we're not sure because they ain't had a lot of screen time. But then you have to sit up here and wonder, like, when is this going to come together? When are they, you know that at some point, something so drastic is going to happen, one way or another. Because one of the things that I honestly think is going to happen is, because this is a versus series, you going to have one Ranger who is on both sides. That was kind of my honest thought when they decided this, that if this is going to be 2, you're going to have a Ranger playing both sides. And this Ranger will be the link that brings them together, including and up to, which probably is going to actually introduce something that's so bad that the police can't fight it by themselves and the thieves can't steal it by themselves. Where the overarching thing is ultimately the Lupin collection is going to become very, very, very important to both of these teams, to the point where they gotta come together against the Gauntlet. It's just like, it is what it is. Unless they can sit up here, keep it separate all the way through, which I highly doubt it can, because it's a versus series. But it's not going. But then, unless the final episode is Lupinranger and Patranger versus Gunglers or something like that, I don't know. Because you can't have, it's like, I don't want to say this, but let me say this. You can't have the thieves getting along with the police and vice versa. So it's got to be something to bridge that gap, and it's either going to be an event or a new Ranger or something that's going to bridge the gap for the understanding of the important thing is the Lupin collection. And speaking of the Lupin collection, I have something I need to get off my chest. Oh, but first, I need to do one more thing. Oh, that second fight, though? Meters. Flames all over the place. Just matrix. And then the Patranger show up and bust shots. And I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. Here's the thing. Why would Arsène Lupin sit up here and keep 6 VS changes with 3 for the cops and 3 for the thieves? Why did the police have 3 of them? I got questions. Who is this dude that Kogure is the front for? Lots and lots of questions. And P.S. somebody's been playing a whole lot of Persona 5. So, great episode. I came into it with nothing. I wanted to approach this with a clean slate. That before, I had my thoughts, I had my reservations, I had my this, I had my that. I came into the episode with nothing. Watched it 3 times just so I could try to get this review out, so I could try to understand what it was I'm watching, because this is new to me too. Like, I didn't have this issue with Q-Ranger, right? Where I'm like, I understood. It's just a show with 9 Rangers instead of 5. No, we sit up here, this is a versus show. This is a versus show, and it's just like, I need to understand, like, yo, what's the angle on this? Like, my only thing is that where's the balance gonna come? Like, you can't do too much Lupin Ranger. You can't do too much Patranger. You gotta find a balance, and I really hope the show does. I believe the show can. I want to give the show the opportunity, but we shall see. Before we get up out of here, I want to shout out to that man, Jamie Hector, a.k.a. Milo, the Legend Dope Man, legendary Dope Man. Like, if Milo was a character in the video game, his title would be Legendary Dope Man, because that's who he is. Got off the game. Shut up. Yeah, like, go watch The Wire. The greatest TV show ever. I'm like, you can't argue me that The Wire, there is no show better than The Wire. Every show in existence chases The Wire. Milo Stansfield, one of the reasons why. But yo, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. I do, and I mean, I do appreciate y'all coming through, man. I'm like, we've been through a lot this weekend. I sat up here and got Q-Ranger all the way caught up for now until versus Space Squad. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? We sat up here and dealt with the fight on the Yo-Yo platform, and now we got Cops and Robbers. Or I'm going to continue to say Cowboys and Indians because I'm very ignorant. Thank you. So, yeah. Scat Skittles the Bobble. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what we're going to do today, but just be watching the channel just in case some things get done. How about that? I am the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. And I'd like to thank you for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. Soon inserted here something real cool once I get used to the matter at hand to say something real cool like I do with Build every week. So with that being said, I'll holler at you guys next time, man. Peace out.